Thanks for having you. I don't want to make it a formal interview. It's just to talk to you, to learn about the festival and, of course, Bristol and everything you're doing. I saw that you were hired last year, but you have an impressive resume of festivals. So why did you choose to accept this one?
Oh, well, yeah, thank you, first of all. And yeah, I mean, I've worked really not every festival out there, but I've worked a lot of different types and all kinds of music, all sizes, from much smaller than this to much larger to, Coachella and Bonnaroo and all of those. And what I really have been looking for and always was looking for is a festival that means as much as Christmas and birthdays and different holidays do, as far as a fixed weekend on the year when you're going to see your family, your friends from your hometown, and get to connect with people that you don't get to see anywhere else throughout the year. And in my mind, that's something that you don't find at most festivals. And most festivals, people are buying tickets because they like the music, at least the first time, and then a lot of times people develop those families and those reunions and their crew every year. But immediately when I was called to be a stage manager at Bristol about 3 years ago, I realized they had something special, and they have a you know very tight knit community around this festival and around the music that was been played here for uh, almost more than a century now. And you could tell this was the big weekend of the year, the non-negotiable, the one that it doesn't matter who's getting married, who's having a baby. It's well, sorry, that's Bristol weekend, and
You
that's
have to
Rhythm
be
and Roots.
there.
And for me, that's criteria number one. Is I want something that really means something to people. And to go from 30, 40 different festivals a year to one, was it really had to be something that means something to the people here. And I'm really into the music too, and into the history of the music. And it's really special what they're doing and how they're keeping that story going. And the fact that there's so much community outreach that we do, and with the museum and the radio station as well. It really seemed like the checked all the boxes for me.
Didn't you? Weren't you afraid of the legacy that you were stepping into? Because not only is Bristol, of course, the birthplace of country music, but this festival is already 25 years. So it's a lot
Yeah,
of legacy, a lot of expectations of visitors, of crew, of the musicians that are playing. Then
yeah, it's certainly a lot of responsibility to take on, and to both honor everything that went into this for the last 25 years and the last 99 years since the Bristol sessions. That's the birthplace of country music is very core to Bristol's identity as a city. And the festival is a representation of that and a modern celebration of that. And so, yes, the pressure is large and palpable. As far as it's not like this is a festival I started on my own. So, where every idea I have, it's like, let's try it, see if it works. There's a lot of tradition here, and there's a lot of, you know, not just tradition, but best practice that works for this festival that is in two states at one time. It's not something most have. And this is being such a big weekend for the community. It's not just the folks that have started it, and the community members that are still very involved, but it really feels like we're doing something for the whole community and the whole region. And I just try to honor why things came to be the way they are here in every decision, and make sure I'm not just looking at it from a logistical standpoint or a efficiency standpoint, but really making sure that with every decision we make, change we make, anything like that, we're sticking to our mission, which is to honor of the 1927 sessions.
Could you describe for us what this festival is doing for the town, for Bristol and the surrounding area? Because if I well seen all the info, it looks like the entire city is involved.
Yes, absolutely. We go all the way down the main street, State Street is what it's called, and the Virginia Tennessee border goes right down the middle
Yeah.
there.
So
And it's twofold for us. We of course love to be able to bring in all these super high profile artists that may or may not have gotten their start here, but that have furthered the music that we're all about here, and the roots music from our region. Um, and give people that live here a chance to see some of those artists that they're hearing on the radio, or they're seeing you know tour elsewhere, but also to platform a lot of our local and regional artists, and to give some of the both upcoming and longtime legends a platform that we can show to all the people that do come to town to experience that authentic Bristol, uh, a Bristol spin on what mountain music is, and what roots music is.
is that a guideline for you when you select the artists that are playing? That it also should be local or should be well embracing the inheritance.
There is, and it's we do have a certain number and certain portion of the lineup that we absolutely want to save for local artists, and want to make sure we're always platforming those artists. But as far as music style and genre goes, as long as we can draw that line back through the last 99 years, they're fair game for us. It's not all country music by any means. It's not all roots music or bluegrass or Americana or anything like that. It's a lot of, at the core of what country music is, and certainly was 100 years ago, is the song. And the song is what we're looking for. We're looking for quality songwriters across all different genres, and authenticity, and just a passion of telling their own story. And that could be anyone from, of course, Sierra Farrell, our big headliner. She's telling the story of 1927, almost as to the T as anybody is right now. And her, even musical style can date back to multiple decades throughout that century. But then you go a little bit further down the lineup, and St. Paul and the Broken Bones is way more soul R&B kind of act, and but they're still doing it, and they're still very much in line with the story we're trying to tell. And you could look at Los Lobos, who's just absolute rock and roll legends, but there's no rock and roll, there's no country, there's no Latin music without all three. And and I think that's the beautiful thing about this story, is that American music and really world roots music, before it was American music, it comes from all over, is was a coming together of thousands of different roots and thousands of different stories and cultures, and from all over the world. And once they were kind of isolated in this mountain range, that's when it became one thing. And once they were isolated in the Mississippi Delta, that's when that became one thing. And once people were isolated out in the early Western frontier, and in the Gold Rush era, like that's when all those influences kind of come together to form these trunks, right? And these trees, and from there it's just blossomed a thousand more different ways. So for me, it's really not about where the artists would fit in a record store, but it's about the story they're trying to tell, and how authentically and well they are telling that story.
For many festivals, it's almost easier to just pick the headliners, because then you're certain to attend a large crowd. But I get a feeling that you find the story, the heart of the artist and the music more important. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, we really pride ourselves in a top to bottom, just quality lineup, where every single artist, I think it's not about, are they going to get big in the next year or not, or are they going to become the next big thing or not? It's are they just being true to their story right now, and to their music, and making something and telling stories that are authentic, unique, and telling them with passion. I think that's a huge thing for me.
As a festival director, your job is, of course, to be neutral, but do you have a favorite in the artist lineup that you want to see yourself?
Oh, I mean, I am very excited to bring Sierra Farrell here, of course, just because she's from this region, and she's taken the music that we are trying to platform into a bigger platform than we have been able to even, and she's a singular kind of queen of Appalachian music right now, and I'm excited to see her. I've been working with her at other festivals, driving back to like driving her around on golf carts when I was a young man working my way in, and her and Tyler Childers and some other artists that are huge now were on the small stages, and so they gave the young kid that assignment for those stages. But to see them hold true to who they are, and as Sierra Farrell and her whole band, I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a big deal. And personally, I really am in love with every artist on this lineup, but could keep going down the list. I'm really excited to get Los Lobos to Bristol for the first time ever. That's just, they're such legends. And as far as kind of up and coming bands go, the Creakers have gained a lot of steam recently, so I'm excited to see that crowd and just how much energy they bring. One a little further down the lineup, I just caught last week at Floyd Fest in Floyd, Virginia for the first time, which Floyd, Virginia is only about 2 hours north, and they're part of the Crooked Road, as they call it, which is the sort of geographical story of mountain music, and at least in the southern Appalachians. Johnny Molinex, though, he is, maybe one of those next big thing type artists. They just absolutely take sort of that country rock hybrid and just turn it right on its head, and completely, just full throttle chicken picking, just they play as fast as anybody, and it's great. It's really an evolution of this genre and this music in a lot of ways.
Like you said, people are also performing throughout the town and the city. It's not just one stage, but I think people are playing music everywhere they can.
Oh yeah, we like to think we're turning the whole city into sort of a musical village where we have 12 stages that we're putting up, or venues we're sort of taking over and putting artists in. But the hope is every corner someone's playing music. We try to set up a couple different areas for people to do that, and there's other businesses in town that will bring in their own sort of series on the side, and I applaud that, of course, too. Really, I mean, I don't want anyone to take 10 steps in town that weekend without hearing music.
To organize a festival like that takes a lot of effort and a lot of people. I saw a quote on the website from you that you feel it very important to create a safe environment for everyone involved. How many volunteers and people, staff do you have to organize such a huge event that you're doing?
Oh, it's in the hundreds at least, and we're very, very thankful and grateful for our volunteers, and that's who built this festival and still runs it in a lot of ways. It's we have a pretty sizable staff here at the Birthplace of Country Music, between the museum, radio station, and festival, and all of the departments that support those. But really, we'd be nowhere without our volunteers, and it really gives this festival a homegrown feel and a community feel that I have not found many other places.
During the festival, at what point do you self have the feeling it's a success, it worked?
Oh, well, you get a small one Friday after you open doors and everyone's in, and I think the thing starts moving. That's one step of that feeling, but not the whole feeling. I think it's really Sunday at that last band. Once most of it's behind you, and everyone, that's when you can really be extremely reflective, and then you got to go load out, and you got to tear the whole thing down. And unique about our festival to most is that we really build the whole thing, overnight, and in one morning the day before the festival, and then it all comes down, and it's all when you wake up Monday morning and go to work in Bristol, it's hard to tell there even was a festival. It's pretty miraculous how so many people come together, and it's our volunteers, it's our staff, it's the staff of Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia, and it's really the whole community comes together to build it. We have, you know, local baseball team there puts up our fences for us, and we have local different sports teams, different church groups, etc., that'll come run a box office for us. And so even on the volunteer level, there's all these microcosms of communities that come together to create this one big quilt of service and help, and really put it on for everybody else.
Organizing something like that is taking a lot of energy, but I think during those days you get a lot of warmth, love, and energy in return with all the smiles of the people.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it all worth it right there, is just getting to look around wherever you go. And I might have my head in one problem trying to solve it, but even with that, I'm walking by a ton of happy people and a ton of people that are catching up for the first time. And really my favorite thing to see at a festival, and at this festival you see a lot of it, is that reunion, that time you're just walking by and you notice two people that haven't seen each other in years and didn't expect to at all, and that surprise reunion of, no way, you're here, and just the hug. And you see it at airports, you see it at ball games, but at a festival like this, you see it a lot, and it's really cool. It's one of the most satisfying things for me in this industry, and not just this festival, but has always been kind of the reason to do it, is more so than these are concerts and these are entertainment, is these are homes for people to come back to, and be around the people that make them feel the best every year.
What is the kind of people that are visiting your festival? Because a lot of festivals you have very old people or very young, but I feel you have a mix of people. You get a lot.
Yeah, we certainly have a mix. We're extremely family friendly. Kids under 12 are all free to come and get a ticket to the festival. So we really, we see people that started 25 years ago now have their kids coming back, if their kids moved away, coming back to town for the festival, then a few years later bringing the grandkids. And so we have multiple generations of people there, and trying to just make sure we're evolving as those generations evolve, but also just stay friendly and open to everybody. There's no one's off limits here, no one's unwelcome here. It's something where we truly want to be the celebration of our own community. So
it's true music, and it hits the heart with a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners that they had to know about your festival?
Well, if anyone's thinking about a trip over, it's the place where it all began. This is the birthplace of country music, and was the big bang of modern country music. And it really doesn't get more authentic than Bristol, and then to see this music played on the streets of Bristol. So definitely encourage anyone that may have had a certain experience at other festivals, may think, even if they think festivals are not for them, this one's a lot easier than most. You don't have to camp, you don't have to drive up and down a mountain to get to it. It's a great starter festival. It's a great festival where people just want to come for a day or two. It's not 6 days long or anything. So it's very accessible, and we have a ton of great restaurants, hotels, and local businesses that really really represent the greater community of Appalachia. You can find it here in a big way.
A great hospitality combined with a great lineup.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're hoping for. Every year, just get better and better.
Then on behalf of the Countryland team, I thank you for this, not interview, but talk. And we are doing our best to make as much a campaign for you as possible. People have to hear about the festival.
Well, we really appreciate that. I thank you for the time and the interest in this. It's first interview in the Netherlands that I have done.